Hello, everybody. Welcome to Powerful Views with Karan Gandhi. In our ninth episode, I am going to narrate a story about forgiveness and compassion. In 1940, two brothers named Shiv and Hari lived as neighbors and farmers for 30 long years. One day, they fell into a deep conflict. Their once harmonious relationship, built upon sharing machinery and labor on their farms, had crumbled into an irreparable feud. It all started with a small misunderstanding that grew into a major disagreement, and before long the brothers found themselves exchanging bitter words and hurtful accusations. The tension between them grew so palpable that weeks passed in silence and their misunderstandings further deepened. A few weeks later, as Shiv was grappling with the pain of his shattered relationship, a carpenter named Manish knocked on his door seeking work. In a moment of anger and frustration, Shiv saw an opportunity for revenge against his brother Hari. He ordered the carpenter to build an 8-foot fence so that he wouldn't have to see his brother Shiv's farm again. Manish listened intently, nodding his head as Shiv spoke. He asked Shiv for the post hole digger and nails, although he had a different plan in mind. He labored tirelessly all day, sawing, measuring, and nailing until the sun began to set. When Shiv returned, he was expecting to see a fence, but instead, he found a beautiful bridge spanning the creek that separated the two farms. As he stood there in awe, he saw his brother Hari walking across the bridge towards him with his hands outstretched. Shiv's heart was heavy with guilt and regret, but his younger brother greeted him with open arms, saying, "Bhaiya, it is amazing that you built this bridge after all I've said and done." The two brothers embraced in the middle of the bridge, tears streaming down their faces. They turned to thank Manish, but he had already lifted his toolbox on his shoulder, ready to move on to his next project. "No, wait, stay a few days. I have many other projects for you," Shiv said, his voice filled with gratitude. But Manish shook his head and said, "I'd love to stay, but I have many more bridges to build." Friends, Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." However, we cannot forgive and have compassion towards others until we practice it on our own selves. Self-compassion is a form of self-care, and self-forgiveness is a necessary step to support our wellness as we strive to achieve our goals. So the first step on this journey is to look inward and begin healing our own selves. Unforgiveness can make us feel angry, cold, hard, and bitter. The impact of unforgiveness can manifest itself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We may just feel justified in our anger, yet we must choose what we desire: anger or freedom from anger. The choice is ours. Let us look at some practical steps which we can incorporate for forgiving others. Step 1. Reflect on the situation. Figure out exactly what happened, the reason why you're upset, where the betrayal stemmed from, and analyze if the whole thing was avoidable. Step 2. Empathizing or putting ourselves in other person's shoes. Doing this will help you remember that all human beings are flawed. We all make mistakes, we act selfishly, and we hurt others in the process. Step 3. Learning from the experience so that we are not aggrieved in similar circumstances in the future. The goal, after all, is to live and learn. Step 4. Letting go. We don't have to let go for the one who hurt us, but we have to let go for ourselves so that we can live and live in peace and tranquility. Step 5. Deciding on further movements. It is important to examine the future course of action, as this might impact us once again if we do not make the right decision or choices. The Bible says in Proverbs 17 verse 9, "Love prospers when a fault is forgiven, but dwelling on it separates close friends." Mary Davis once said, and I quote, "We can't heal the world today, but we can begin with a voice of compassion, a heart of love, and an act of kindness." The story of Shiv and Hari and Manish is a poignant reminder that forgiveness and compassion can bridge even the deepest divides. Let us all strive to build bridges instead of fences in our own relationships. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Powerful Views. If you like this content, please subscribe to this channel. This is your host Karan Gandhi signing off for the day. Stay safe and keep happy.